Hey, good morning, sports fans. Louis Diamond live in our Las Vegas handicapping studios, and you are watching BettorCenter live. And I am joined with a couple fantastic handicapping weekend warriors, and actually a little more than that. Tony Gulledge and Del Warfield. Looks like a great weekend here, guys. We've been on fire. Welcome back. How you guys doing today? Del, how you doing?
Good morning,
Doing
Luke.
good, Lou. Good morning. Good morning,
All
Tony.
right. How about you, Tony? You got a nice little tie on again. You're ready to rock and roll, aren't you? You got a fistful of winners, don't you?
About that Iowa, hopefully that was my play yesterday. I needed to hit, cashed it, so I do feel good coming into today. So let's make this a good weekend.
Yeah, Iowa road favorite. We cashed that yesterday, and Cincinnati just the first quarter. You got the 7.5. You
How
probably
about the
took it on a
finish of
chin.
that game? Did you watch the fourth quarter of that game, Lou? That Cincinnati ran a fake punt up 42-10 with like 8 minutes left in the game, and it like set up a score. I don't know if I've ever seen a team up 42-10 run a fake punt, but Cincinnati did last night. It was kind of funny.
They went for the cover. I mean, come on. And not only that, you're up 49-10, and you score with 12 seconds
10
left. I don't
seconds
remember what
left.
the
It was
number.
a handoff. Yeah, handoff up the middle for 75 yards. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was kind of
Yeah,
weird. It was very weird the way that finished.
yeah.
Covered the
So,
second half.
all right. Well, let's see if we can pull ourselves some winners here today. So we got plenty of college football to talk about. And the first game on our schedule today will be Florida State, North Carolina State. And NC State is a 10.5-point favorite. And they are the total on this game went from 65. I'm sorry, opened up a 10.5-point favorite up to 13.5. So no, that's a North Carolina game. Damn it. North Carolina State is playing Florida State, and that is the 10.5, and the total is 59. I'll go right to you, Tony. Bail me out of this one, all right?
Yeah, keep this one pretty simple. It's basically a strategical play for me here. An action Jackson. Let's go small. I like Florida State and the points. I do note that this quarterback for NC State used to play for Florida State, so he's going to get a shot at his old school. But there's a couple big trends here that I'm going to lean with the points. Off the big, what was the big win from Miami? Yeah, the loss last week to Miami. I think that's going to hurt them in this spot. For me, small play, Florida State. You got anything on this one, Lou?
Well, I got two teams that just don't like to cover the spread very much. Florida State, 2-7-1 on the road, 2-8 their last 10 games overall. The Wolfpack, 3-8 following an ATS win, so they have a tough time putting back-to-back games together. I see Florida State coming in with some over numbers. I see NC State coming in with some over numbers as well, except 4 out of the last 5 have gone under. And NC State is 8-0-1 at home against Florida State. So I see some edge to Florida.
I will say that was one of the things I noticed, that even when Florida State was a top 5 team, the toughest game they were normally getting in the ACC was from NC State, surprisingly enough. So I'm sure that carries into that some. And that's kind of what I'm going to their dominance over them for so long when they really were underdogs. Now, if you looked at a lot of those spreads, Lou, a lot of those games, they were going to be underdogs in that 8-1 run. It's just now with the craziness of 2020 where Florida State's actually an underdog against NC State, which I don't even know when the last time that happened.
Right, and the underdog in this series, 14-4-1 the last 19 meetings.
There we go.
But obviously that had a lot of NC State going on there as the underdog. Del, you got anything to add on to this game?
No, not really at all. I don't really like this game. Florida State's having a really disgusting year. NC State's been playing really good, been really competitive in pretty much all of their games too, even dealing with injuries. I would have leaned NC State here with the points, but it's just not a good game for me to touch. So I just got to stay away from this one.
Yeah, you're kind of behind the steam as well. Opened up 7.5, now it's 10.5. So, all right, let's move on to the next game. We got the Fighting Irish, and they will be going to the Boston College. The Eagles. Nice home dog, maybe 11.5 point home dog. Total 50.5. I have a big play on the total in this game, and I'll introduce that in a second. But let's see, Dell. Anything with Notre Dame, BC?
For this game, I initially liked Notre Dame when it was at 13, but the line move for me kind of pushed me away going down to 11 and a half. I think I've seen recently. I'm huge on Notre Dame this year. I actually picked them for the championship, so they're my future bet is Notre Dame. I love Notre Dame. Had them last week versus Clemson. Love them, but I can't take this one with that line moving backwards. So I initially did like Notre Dame, but now I kind of got to stay away from this.
All right, a little bit of a scare with that line move. Everybody jumping the other way, jumping on that dog. What about you, Tony? What do you got going here?
Yeah, I must be just too old school to wear that reverse line movement crap. To me, it never, one way or the other. I'm not going to be affected by that. I do love Notre Dame in this spot. This is a team, they've done well. I think last year was a massive beating. I will note that BC, from time to time, they played North Carolina pretty well. From time to time, they'll give you a good effort at home. But I think Notre Dame, the mental relief of getting over that hump. It had been so long since they stood up and played a solid game against a top-tier opponent. And we'll say Clemson had their backup, their number one pick quarterback standing on the sideline wearing a mask, fully capable of playing, but was being held back due to some cardiovascular exam results. So, but I tipped the cap to Notre Dame. They came up with the plays they needed to come up with, and I think they're going to steam full ahead now. I think at this point, their defense is going to carry him. Book, as long as he's not making mistakes, he's good enough. I don't think he's great, but he's good enough. And he can run the ball some, too, to keep teams off balance. Boston College, what you see is what you get. Not great on either side of the ball, but if they don't turn the ball over, they can try to run it and get a few things done. But it's all Notre Dame here for me. I really like the Irish today. To me, the line coming down makes it cheaper. It's like getting a discount on a pair of Air Jordans. I'm not going to bitch because they dropped the price. I still like Notre Dame here today, and that's my play in this one, Lou.
All right, a little Notre Dame love from Mr. Gulledge, the great white capper. And I got a nice play on the total here, guys. A real nice play. And with that being said, I am going to introduce to you the new website, BettorCenter.com. So BettorCenter.com. Now, this is where you're going to be able to get our premium plays. So please stop by, join us today, and purchase a couple picks or keep the prices down. Get you guys some solid winners. And if you scroll underneath that wonderful mug of Brad, you'll see the offers for today's games. I know Tony has a game that he has out there. I have 5 plays I have out there today, 5 games. And I also have a package if you want to grab all 5. But one of them is the total on this game. It's an executive play. Stop out to BettorCenter.com. Make yourself some money with it. I'll nail this play here today. I got a big day planned. Hopefully you'll join me and make some money together. All right, so that being said, let's get over to our next game on the schedule. That will be Wake Forest. And they are at North Carolina. North Carolina, there is your 13.5-point favorite. We got a total of 69. I'll let you lead the way again, Tony. What do you think?
Yeah, let's just go right to this. Coming back home, North Carolina, trash Duke, 56-24, a lot of points. I think they had 42 points at halftime. That game was pretty much over. That was the second of back-to-back road games. Remember, I had them at Virginia, just an awful defensive performance. That's the thing you got to be wary of. North Carolina, from time to time, you'll get just their defense is just not there, especially the big play. And you get Wake coming in here. Here's the thing I'm going to note about Wake. They've won the 4 straight games, 3 that really meant anything. And in those 3 games, they've won the turnover battle 9-0. So Wake has, in each of those 3 games, Wake has gotten 3 turnovers and given up none. I think that's played the huge role in each of those wins because when you look at the drives, the way it's set up, basically the other team were handing them games. North Carolina, the offense, even in the loss to Virginia, 41 points. Now, they've played some slow first halves, but in the second half, this team always manages to move the ball pretty much at ease. A lot of points here today. I think if I don't play totals, but I think if you're going to look for one to possibly go over, it is high. I see it's 69.5. That is way up there. But with that said, I love North Carolina. I think they're going to get far enough ahead of Wake here, so even any kind of late trash touchdowns from Wake, I think that's what's going to make the total push it to an over the total kind of play. But I still think North Carolina's going to be far enough ahead in this one for the cover. Those touchdowns won't matter. Another play I really do like today, North Carolina laying what seems like a heavy line to a team on a winning streak. Situational. Don't expect North Carolina to be turning the ball over like the previous 3 Wake opponents. North Carolina gets an easy win here at home today.
All right, Tony's feeling good about North Carolina. Dell, do you have an opinion on the game at all?
Yeah, I mean, I love North Carolina too here with the the minus 13.5. I think that it's should be a blowout today. I mean, 13.5 shouldn't even come into play. Expect inside the 20s, maybe even 30s. A huge blowout today for North Carolina. So I love North Carolina laying the points.
All right. Wow, looks like we got some North Carolina love going today. Hopefully it takes advantage for you. I can't jump on the wagon either side. I had a tough time finding a little love for this game, but I do see what you guys are seeing there, and maybe we got a nice little winner. So 2 out of 3, and I'm not going against it. So you got 2 solid plays on North Carolina minus 13.5. Let's get over to the Wisconsin-Michigan game. Game opens up at 1 for Wisconsin. Lots of steam on this game. I have a play on this once again. It's on the new BettorCenter page. Feel free to go over, take a look at that. It's actually, I think it's my least inexpensive game, only $9. Make yourself a little bit of money with this. But if you don't even want to spend the $9, let's see what Tony's got. Wisconsin at Michigan.
Yeah, this is up on the site for me too, Lou, now that I'm looking at it. But I'll tell you what, just this first day, I want everybody just to go look at the website, check it out. I'm just going to call this one right out, Lou. This is the money game of the day for me. I think Michigan's absolutely roasted. This will be Jim Harbaugh's last season. You love the trends, Lou. I got one for you. Since Jim Harbaugh has been coach at Michigan, they are 0-10 when they're underdogs. Not one single time has this guy been able to come up as an underdog and win an unexpected game. Wisconsin, this is one of those situations where Wisconsin's been held back 2 weeks, right? How many times have we seen this where the team had to miss a couple games, but when they got the opportunity to hit the field, they came out with both feet hitting the ground running at the same time? I think that's what you're going to get from Michigan. I think there was even some question about which quarterback. I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's going to really matter because there's going to be a lot of handoffs, a lot of runs, and the over-the-top passes I'm sure will be there. Michigan, I mean, we can go over the list. That win against Minnesota kind of gave them a little hope, but since then it's just awful. The offense, the defense is terrible, man. Michigan's defense is atrocious. No chance they're going to be able to stand up to Wisconsin here. I can see why the line is moving. Get it while you can, because I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. There's no way this game goes less than double digits. Wisconsin is going to beat Michigan like a drum tonight. Expect the word will be out. And Michigan, this will be their first 1-3 start if they lose this game since 1967. So, I mean, all that I think comes to a head tonight. Harbaugh can't win as an underdog. Wisconsin, big, strong on both sides of the ball, offense and defensive line. They're just going to control the game from start to finish. The only way Michigan has any glimmer of hope of keeping it close is big turnovers that score touchdowns or perhaps a punt return. But other than that, there will be no drive where Michigan marches up the field. That's the way I look at this game, Lou. I really like Wisconsin today.
All right, Tony, I'm going to give you a little bit of a sales tip. they're not going to buy if you give them the game for free. And they're just not going to buy it. I don't care how nice they are. They're not going to buy
it. I'll remember
okay,
that.
So
one.
after the show, we're going to take Tony to sales course.
I'll keep up with that one for tomorrow's game. For tomorrow's game, you're going to have to get it off the website. So when I cash this Wisconsin for you today, take some of that winnings and get my NFL play at the site tomorrow.
There we go. All right. So we'll get this selling thing worked out here soon enough. Meanwhile, enjoy that winner that Tony offered you for absolutely free. So you got a nice little discount there today. So show them a little love, show them a little appreciation when you have that opportunity, and feel free to click subscribe to the show. So, you know, when we give our free stuff that costs money, you get it. So, all right, Del, anything real quick on this game?
Yep, I'm on the same side here as Tony. I like Wisconsin here. I definitely think it's a really good stat that he brought in. I think Harbaugh's going to be 0-11-1 after today. Wisconsin just dominant on both sides of the ball. Michigan's just horrid this year. As he said, defense is just horrible. I mean, I don't see them being able to stop Wisconsin. I don't see them being able to score on Wisconsin. Should be an easy game here, Wisconsin. Lay the points.
Wisconsin. So, you know what? Just now that the cat's out of the bag, guys, and it's my $9 play, but it's still a good play. I want to make sure that the small tickets win. We're aligned here, guys. Wisconsin's the play here today. So you snagged a free one from me, you snagged a free one from Tony, and you snagged a big one from Del. So Wisconsin, guys, cash the ticket today. Cash that ticket and thank us later. That's all. All right. Next game on the schedule will be Northwestern. They're -3. They're at Purdue, and the total is 49.5. Let me see if I can get us a fresh line. And I don't have it right in front of me right this second. So let's go to Tony. Purdue, Northwestern. Actually, game opened up a pick 'em. Went up to 3. Northwestern getting lots of love. You loving them, Tony?
I'm actually going to play the home team here, and it's going to be very similar to that situation where we went against Purdue, Iowa. Remember that first game? The line was pretty much the same deal here, right around 2-3. So what happened then? Purdue rallies late, steals the win against Iowa. That's the one that cost us. You remember the Iowa road favorite that had been huge. That set it back. And I look for that spot here. It's almost identical setup for Purdue. And what you're looking at, when I'm looking at Northwestern, they had the big win against Maryland, right? But then the last couple is they're not scoring a ton. Typical Northwestern, kind of grinding, kind of slower tempo, slower pace. And, you know, the 10-minute drive and then they miss a field goal or something. I think that happened last night with Minnesota. I told my wife when that happened. I've never seen a team have like a 11-minute drive and then miss a field goal at the end of it. It was like the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. I would, you know, something like that today, something where, you know, a quarters just evaporates because the teams just run the ball. Classic Big Ten style. Nothing on Northwestern overwhelms me. And that's why I think it's a tricky spot for them laying the 3 points as the road favorite. You know, they've gotten and you said the lines move. It was a pick. I think the books were more in line with where this should be with that initial pick. And then the eye candy teams have seen, oh, Northwestern's 3-0. Purdue's not that good. And that's moved that line this way. I think 3 is a good amount of points to take. So I'm going to take Purdue as the home dog here.
Looking for the home dog to bark. All right. So this game is the road team has covered 7 of the last 8 games. Obviously 4 straight for the Wildcats in Purdue. So, but the under is 35-15-2 for Northwestern when they are a favorite, but Purdue when they are at home, 44-21-1 to the over. So we got some conflicting numbers there. What do you got, Del? Anything?
Not really. So I initially did lean Northwestern, and I initially did lean under here, but I think this isn't anything I would personally lay any money on. So I don't feel right, being able to tell anybody else to kind of bet this game too. So I just kind of gotta completely stay away from this one. I would like the under here, but I gotta stay away.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
think they put that
All
number a
right.
little low, it seems like to me. It seems like that number, I don't know if it's intentional to try to, it's almost like a scare tactic, right? Anything under 50 in college nowadays, unless it's Alabama against,
Oh yeah.
or another good defense. That number, doesn't it seem low, or is that just me?
It is a low number. No, anything in the 40s in college football is absolutely a low number, and it's almost like you'd never ever want to play that under. But at certain times you do have to, and if they have that running game that you're talking about here today, there might be some value in the under, but it's a short number. And Northwestern picked to -3. You've crossed the key numbers. I see me passing on the game, but obviously, you're on that Northwestern train here today, and we're going to see how
I
you
got
do.
Purdue. I like
I'm sorry,
Purdue.
the Purdue train. Purdue, you got
Yes,
them as
sir.
a home dog right now. So
I'll take
my
it.
bad. All right, so let's move over to another Big Ten game and a Big Ten team that's doing some big things right now that nobody really expected, and those are the Indiana Hoosiers. And now they're taking their winning ways on the road to Michigan State today. So they're 7.5-point road favorite. Boy, Indiana laying more than a touchdown on the road. Getting a lot of respect real quick. Michigan State, sure, not too much respect for them right now. And the total is 51.5. Dell, anything with this one?
Actually, yes. I actually do like Michigan State here with the points and as a live dog today. I think they're plus 230 on the money line too. So I actually think Michigan State has a chance to actually win this game at home as a home dog, plus 230. Pretty good value. Safer bet, of course, is take the 7.5. It should be able to cover at home. Indiana's kind of I guess what's the word? Overperforming. Michigan State is kind of average. I mean, they got a decent quarterback, good weapons. All right defense. I think Indiana's just kind of overperforming. I think that line's a little bit inflated. I think this is a really good spot for Michigan point on the points, and a pretty good spot as well for a live dog today at plus 230.
I tell you what, you got a plus 230 on a team that is 12-4. Michigan State 12-4 versus the Hoosier against the spread though. The last 16 meetings, 9-4 for the home team. The last 13 meetings, the favorites gotten the job done 11 out of 15 times, but the Hoosiers haven't really been the favorite. So they are 1-7 at Michigan State. A little love on the over, 10-2 to the over the last 12 meetings. Tony, you got a vibe here? I think you got to play here, don't you?
Yeah, I do have a play here, Lou. I went the other way. I'm all over Indiana here. I got it to 7. I think I laid an extra nickel or dime to get off that 7, get rid of that hook, just make it 7. Things I like here. I'm already viewing Indiana as what I'm seeing so far as like their Big Ten revenge tour. They're basically coming around the league, getting back at some teams like they got Michigan. Right. And Michigan State, I've watched what they're doing, man, on offense. It is so bad. This quarterback, yeah, I know in their win against Michigan, he threw 3 touchdowns. I was kind of looking at the numbers like, if I just looked at the numbers on the page, that Michigan game, 17 of 32, 323, 3 touchdowns, not bad. But when I watched some of the game, it was just inconsistent. The guy didn't know exactly where he wanted to go with the ball. Some dangerous throws. Lucky they weren't picked off. And then obviously the other games, he just hasn't looked good. I consider Michigan State like offensively inept. They literally have trouble doing the simple things on offense. And granted, Indiana can allow teams to move the ball. I get where Dell's going here. I feel where he's going. But I just think it's a flip the script kind of year. It's 2020. I see Indiana, from what I can sense from the vibes of what's going on there, they're really hyped on their team. And I don't think it's hyped in a way where their heads are filled. I think it's like a real confident kind of hype that you want to see from a team. Look for them to have a good year in the Big Ten, and I think they're just going to bitch slap Michigan State and get an easy win today.
All right, a little Spartan bitch slapping, he says, by a Hoosier. There's a nice headline. All right, I have a tough time having any love for this game at all. Obviously, Michigan State, you want to play over, under. Indiana, I usually like to play over. So I'm leaving this play all alone, and I'll let you guys fight this one out. So, all right. Next game on our schedule, something that I know I didn't have much to talk about here on this game, but I believe Tony does, so I'm going to go to him first. It's UTEP, and they're playing Texas San Antonio, and the line UTEP, Texas San Antonio -6.5 in the total. Another low college football total, 45.5. So, Tony, I'm just going to fire it off right to you. What do you got on this game? Why are we talking about it?
Yeah, this is one of those low grade kind of plays, but this is one where I basically fade the teams I have at the bottom in these spots. I noticed they had 3 straight, just playing all their games on the road here, UTEP, and they got the cover last time. I think this sets up perfectly. UTSA is basically kind of what you would call a system play. This just fits into a lot of categories, and it's basically a card filler play for me. But I do like UTSA against a very low grade UTEP team. And that total is really low. I don't know why exactly it's that low, but that's a little too low. I'd almost say the over has a good ring to it. But my play is UTSA here.
UTSA. All right. The over has ring 5 out of the last 7 road games, and 5 out of the last 7 conference games, 5 out of the last 7 as a road underdog, 13 out of the last 16 in November for the Miners, while UTSA brings 10 out of the last 12 games as a favorite to the under, 18, 8-1 to the Roadrunners for the under in their 27 conference games. So it's kind of a toss-up there, but it is a low number. So with that low number, I would give an edge to the over. How about you, Del? Anything real quick on this one?
No, sir. I got absolutely nothing. I didn't even look at this game. So best luck to you, Tony. I will be watching it now, but I'm way.
All right, let's get to our last game before we get our most interesting play of the day here today. Now, my boy Bick, is a guy I grew up with, total sports nut, Penn State guy, family Penn State, so he's a homer. But telling me today, not as a homer, that Penn State has to get it together. This is their spot. And damn it, I'm kind of believing him. Damn it, I am. So, Nebraska's not anything that they can, that Penn State should have to worry about. But then again, is Penn State anything Nebraska has to worry about? So my boy Vic says this is the day for Penn State. What do you say, Tony?
I'm going to kind of agree with your boy Vic. I think this is a spot where you got
Vic.
Okay.
Vic with the B, like a lighter.
Oh, Bick, like a lighter. Okay,
Bick.
Yeah, I should know that. Go. Yeah, my friend Bick.
There you go. There he is.
I like Penn State in this spot also, and it is actually what it's on my play. One of my plays. 2 teams desperate for a win, right? And what I see more potential offensively from the Penn State side. Defense is scary. Don't get me wrong. I don't think this is like some overwhelming team, but I see them. The potential for improvement is more for me on the Penn State side, and I think they're going to dig deep and find a way to win. It's like say, what do you think, Dale? Do you have any opinion here?
Not really. I mean, Penn State's have a couple heartbreaking. I mean, that first game was a heartbreaking loss. And then, they've just been underperforming since then. They've been decimated at running back. I would lean Penn State. You figure they got to get a win sometime, right? Why not versus Nebraska? I lean it, but I'm not going to be betting it. So I'll be watching it, leaning it, cheering for Penn State. But I don't see value really for myself to be able to lay coin on them today. If I do lean them, Penn State, though.
Only 15 points a game for Nebraska.
Like Penn State. Yeah, I like Penn State, and it's really It's more of a situational kind of deal. I don't really see any value in the line. I don't. I'll be honest. At this point, there's really no value in the line as them being a road favorite. But the value is they both are desperate to win, and I think Penn State wants it. That I can't say they want it more. They're just more equipped to actually go out on the field and get it, and that's the main reason.
They actually have an offense that might put points on the board. Where
exactly, I guess that's the words I'm trying to find. The potential for if they both play up to what they're capable of, Penn State's a better team and should get the win. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I would say that as well. It's tough to bet on either of these two teams, but I guess Bick may be onto something, and we're going to find out here in a little bit. Maybe we'll make him a pro handicapper. Yeah, right. So, all right, guys. Listen, it's that time of the day, and we are going to lock, load, and get everybody a nice, solid winner. So, Del, you actually had two plays that we didn't talk about it, and so if you want to rattle those off here real quick, knock yourself out, and let's give them some winners.
All right, so yeah, so two of my most interesting plays then. My favorite game today is actually going to be the early game. Starts one of the first games that starts is going to be TCU versus Virginia. I know we guys kind of talked about this low total game, like anything under 40 or under 50. You kind of want to lean over here. This line opened up at 45.5, I believe. A lot of the action is actually coming in on the over. Lines moving down. You know how I roll. I like the reverse line movement. I like the low totals. I'm actually going under for this game. TCU versus West Virginia is actually my favorite play today, going under that total. I think I saw it at 45 last. It might even be down to 44. But yeah, I love this game going under TCU versus West Virginia under today. And then the second game, USF versus Houston. Another under I'm be hitting today as well. I think I see it at 57.5. Actually, all the action's pretty much coming on this game going over. I think I saw 95% of the bets actually on this game going under. It moved down again. Love the reverse line movements. When I look at totals, I love this, type of line movement and, action coming in, reverse line movement, things like that. So I love USF versus Houston going under, as well as my second most interesting play of the day, under 57.5.
All right, couple nice little tickets for you to cash here from Del Warfield, and take advantage of it, guys. Make a little bit of money with it today, because Del's going to be loading up that shopping cart. We're all going to start loading up that shopping cart. Hopefully you've been making money with all these free winners we've been giving you a nice little head start. Doesn't mean we're going to stop giving you free winners, but we got to keep the lights on some way. So join us over at BettorCenter.com so you can get you set and help us provide you guys with some solid winners. Show us a little love in return, please. And that being said, Tony, most interesting play of the day.
Right. I just want to mention, I don't bet totals, but I do remember from the days back in the old books back in Charlotte that the guys that were good at it always bet the under every time. So, think of that when I see Dale with two unders a day. It made me just think of those heavy hitter guys that used to come in and bet totals, and that every time they'd come in, it was always on the under. Maybe that means you're a good gambler, Dale. And with that said, let's just go straight with the most interesting and hopefully the most profitable. I don't want to beat around the bush here. Let's play Wisconsin to absolutely destroy Michigan. Almost call this the swan song for Harbaugh. I think the results this year for Michigan are going to make it easy for them to push him out the door. And this is the kind of game they're going to look at when they're making that decision. They're going to get crushed tonight. Most interesting play, most profitable play, Wisconsin over Michigan tonight.
Okay, Wisconsin over Michigan. We're going with a double down on that. All right, so my most interesting play of the day, I was going to just do the same thing, but I'll make it a little more interesting because obviously we know we're all in alignment here on Wisconsin. I believe Virginia Tech, Miami of Florida, we're way behind the move. It's up to 68, but I believe the over is the play here. in this matchup. So Miami, Florida, Virginia Tech, something we haven't talked about. I think you got the over. Even the 68 should still be good, even though we're way past the move. If you sign on early, you get the plays early. That's all I can really say about that. But as far as the totals, what you just said there, there's the advantages are to play the underdogs and to play the unders. No, as a general rule, underdogs and unders. Why? Because everybody likes to bet the favorites and everybody wants to bet the overs. So it's always slanted in that direction. So, yes, the sharp players play the underdogs and they play the unders, but that doesn't mean that's the only thing that makes a sharp player. All right, so that being said, don't forget BettorCenter.com. We got I have a slew of games out there for you today that you can choose from. Got some nice winners. Hopefully you'll jump on, take advantage of it. We'll start making some money together. For Del Warfield and Tony Gulledge, thank you very much for being here today and offering your insights. Truly appreciate it. I will see you back here tomorrow morning. We'll be here at 8 a.m. Mr. Brad Stein, he needs an extra hour's sleep, so we'll give it to him. Not really. He has other plans. But so we're going to start coming in at 8 a.m. on Sunday mornings. See you tomorrow on BetterCenter Live.